What's up, everyone? Andre here, along with Jake and Tris, to talk about our predictions and hopes and expectations and whatever else for tomorrow's final Tears of the Kingdom trailer. It's coming at 7 a.m. Pacific time. It's estimated to be about 3 minutes in length, and this is kind of a surprise for a few reasons. One, this is a pretty last-minute announcement. Two, it's only a 3-minute video rather than a proper full direct or anything of that nature. So yeah, let's talk about it. What are we thinking? Tris, what's your gut reaction to this?
I mean, my gut reaction is I'm glad it's not a full direct because that would be such a big blowout that it would almost go against everything else they've done for this game marketing wise.
Yeah,
So
they've kind of been surprisingly reserved. Although I guess it's not that far out of line than how they typically handle games, but it does feel like less for this. I think it's because we haven't had like a couple reasons. I mean, I guess because of no E3. I think it's because of lack of E3. So we haven't had those hands-on impressions yet, and we haven't had like the treehouse, hour-long segments breaking down, big
right.
facets of the game. Jake, how are you feeling?
I think this is interesting. I feel like one, it does confirm that they are in fact kind of purposefully not showing us a lot,
Yep.
and that was intentional from the beginning. Which I have a lot of questions about. I wonder how effective that is. I wonder how you gauge that is the right move. I just think like not telling people stuff is like a funny strategy. So I'd love to know how that works behind the scenes and how that's like what you come to. But I think like, we got our 10 minutes not too long ago, and I think what was really cool for me about that was seeing what Nintendo thought was really cool and interesting and worthwhile about Breath of the Wild, but also, of course, Tears of the Kingdom, what they thought was really cool and worth showing off about it. So tomorrow, getting this 3-minute trailer, to be completely honest, my expectations on the floor. I'm expecting nothing.
Wow.
This is gonna be a bunch of clips of things that we don't understand. This is going to be a montage heavy, maybe some, out of context voice quotes, Link, like some of that juice.
Open your eyes.
Nonsense, just absolute nonsense. Because honestly, this is like supposed to be kind of like a hype trailer, like a commercial. This is, if they're saying, and they did, that this is like the last trailer they're putting out before the game comes out, then this has to have a lot of uses. This has to be something that is going to like, I'm going to get my YouTube ad, and it'll probably be this trailer. So like, are we going to learn anything about the mechanics of this game, or like dungeons, or, all these other questions that people have? I think no. I think we're getting pastiche. I think it's going to be fun, cool looking, maybe dramatic, but yeah, nothing. I just don't think it's going to be substantial. I just can't. Yeah, that's where I'm at, I guess.
Dramatic is what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
Because when you compare this to the trailers that Breath of the Wild got, that last like Switch presentation trailer that they got, that big one, that when you really look at all of the content actually in it, like you said, it's a bunch of out of context clips with a bunch of like several voice clips over it that realistically didn't actually show us a lot of the game. It just put a bunch of hype things together. They got people feeling excited to some really good music. I'm hoping this is Tears of the Kingdom's equivalent to that. Not showing anything like too much, but showing enough things that make us go, oh, okay. But nothing that's like, oh my gosh, you watched Zelda die in the trailer? Like, nothing like that.
Yeah, I don't know if they even. I mean, I think if we do get anything akin to that, it would be, it'd be a red herring or a tease or something.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get anything too spoilerish here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I suspect that, based on the final Breath of the Wild trailer, which a lot of people think is one of Nintendo's best trailers of all time, I think, yeah, we're just gonna get like little glimpses, as both of you were saying, and I don't think we're gonna get anything too substantial here. And yeah, I don't fully know what to make of that, because I felt like the Breath of the Wild trailer after playing the game wasn't all that representative of the game itself. Like, all the cool stuff you saw there were from cutscenes, that you see spread apart by hours and hours. And I kind of hope that this isn't that, because for two reasons. One, I don't care that much, like, I don't think it's that's not the main part of the game. And two, my concern is, if we do get something that seems akin to that, that's just gonna be the same thing again. We're just seeing glimpses of cutscenes, and that's the part I don't really care about. I want to see more of this game world. But I still feel like we've seen, like, I am actually getting a little concerned now that we've seen most of this game, and like we understand how it all works. Obviously, there's gonna be like, you know what, unlimited potential with what you can build and the
Yeah.
things you can create. But my concern is that, have we seen it? You know, I mean, I feel like we've seen glimpses of elements we don't fully understand yet, like the time ruining powers you have now or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my concern. I'm not too worried, but it is a concern, and I think we'll see what we see tomorrow. Like, if we just see a bunch of glimpses of cutscenes, that's actually gonna be a little disappointing to me, and I hope we see more than just that. But at the same time, I do think they have to lay out the story a little bit more than they have, and I think they will tease that to some degree here.
If this is the last trailer, there needs to be at least something related to the story that isn't simply Ganon returning to power, because that's all we've gotten.
Yeah, that's like every Zelda game.
Exactly.
No, 100%. Yeah, Andre, it's funny that you bring that up. Now, thinking about that trailer for Breath of the Wild, it's funny how much, like, to me, I call that trailer just outright lies. Because the game is never as cool as that trailer. And I love Breath of the Wild. I'm out here standing this game.
Yeah.
But the game is never as hype as that. It is not this, like, dramatic, tumultuous, like, oh, good versus evil. Like, that. No, it's running around pushing rocks, which is amazing. So yeah, so it's kind of it does put them in kind of a funny spot, because if we do get a lot of that in the trailer tomorrow, do I kind of have to assume that it is a theater of lies? And I think I kind of do.
Theater of lies.
But at the same time, I do think it's important to acknowledge that, like I said, this trailer is what will probably be used in like YouTube ads. This will be, you know what I mean? So so you have to have a little voiceover. You have to have a little bit of like, oh, here's some crazy graphical effect, some dramatic scene coming down. Oh, Link's got a messed up arm. You know,
especially since what's currently used for YouTube ads is the vehicle crafting from an earlier trailer, like from the earlier trailer that shows out the vehicle crafting. You can get like a 15-second trailer that's just those clips basically as ads right now.
Right, and I've definitely seen this.
Yep.
And they kind of blow. So like I think part of the reason that this is getting revealed now, you know, we're about a month from release, is that they need things to tweet right now desperately. Like the tweets that they are running for Tears of the Kingdom right now are pathetic. So they like it's awful.
Aren't a lot of them Breath of the Wild tweets too? I feel like
before the 10 minutes gameplay, they were running Breath of the Wild like it was nobody's business. And now, since we have 10 minutes gameplay, they're like, hey, so stick and rock? This is the game.
It's like being a 3-year-old again, you're smashing things together.
Oh god.
But that part actually does appeal to me. It's weird how the marketing has been for this game. It's not at all what I would expect it to be as a follow-up to one of the best acclaimed, best-selling Nintendo titles of all time. It's very surprising. And maybe Nintendo's like, the game sells itself. You know, we don't need to market it. Right. Why spend all the marketing money if we don't need to? And maybe that is it. Maybe it's also intentional that they're just trying to avoid showing too much. And I kind of respect that. I do feel like, though, there may be a slight battle in selling people on this game. I think that's the purpose of this final trailer. I think that's going to be what it's trying to do. It's going to try and sell everyone who isn't already on board at this point. You know, as you guys were saying, it'll be running before YouTube ads. This is gonna be the big one to like show like, hey, this is why you need this game. I hope that. So obviously there'll be cinematics as part of it. They're going to tease those. Obviously, they want to show off the cool stuff. My hope is that this time. I mean, I guess this is almost a broader point. I hope they're just not relegated memory spots again. I hope there are memory spots at all in this game. Link has his memory. We don't need more of them. I want those cutscenes. I want them to mean something within the context of the game. That's where I think they can nail it. Where if the things we see are actually representative of the game this time, more so than Breath of the Wild was for the final trailer. That's what I'm hoping is the case here. So I hope we see things that are hype and that are reflective of things we'll be doing actually this time.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking about the strategy. I'm thinking about the marketing strategy. And it's like, okay, so what is the answer to the question, like, why approach it this way? And I think the answer is you have to assume this many Switches out on the Wild, the amount of popularity that Breath of the Wild had as a video game, you basically have to assume that all of your day one sales are locked in. You don't have to put out a single trailer for this video game. Those day one people know who they are. They're buying this game no matter what you show. And I have to assume that a lot of the traditional marketing materials that we see for video games are simply being held on to sell this game throughout the year, to get the second wave, third wave, keep it selling throughout the years, try to juice those numbers rather than try to get them on your opening like you do for most games, because we don't need to do that. This is Zelda, baby. And I know there have been some reports suggesting that this might be the game that Nintendo needs to float them through the whole year. I don't necessarily believe those, but it's something to consider. So I when it comes to the question, well, first off, I think that this thing, the whole strategy to me is funny, because I wonder when they decided today was going to be the day, just because I feel like they could have let the Mario movie cook a little longer.
I was thinking that. I know. I don't understand. I think in this case, and I think we've seen things like this before, like with Pokemon and Nintendo, which may work a little closer, but it feels like Nintendo just does not care. Like, Illumination's handling the Mario movie. They're going to do their own thing, independent of that. And as a fan, as a content creator, the timing's weird. It's like, we're still in Mario movie mode. They're like, okay, guess we're switching to Zelda, at least for a little period of time, and yeah, Nintendo does not care about spacing things out. I mean, they literally released a new Mario and Zelda on the same day a few years ago, and I never understood that either. But maybe it works out for them. Who knows? But yeah, I was going to mention a point off of what you were saying. So here, I think part of the reason why they may be going about the trailer this way too, or the whole marketing this time for Tears of the Kingdom, is because they can. They're coming from a position of strength rather than a position of weakness before, where they had to sell us on the new Zelda because it also tied into their new platform. So they were basically like advertising for one is advertising the other, and so they needed to sell us on it in order to get us to buy into the new ecosystem. Here, though, Nintendo, I mean, kind of to your point, Jake, like, they have this huge Mario movie out now. They almost don't need to. Like, they are literally at the strongest they've possibly ever been, if not one of the peaks. And it could just be that, yeah, we're Nintendo, you like Breath of the Wild, you're probably gonna buy Tears of the Kingdom, and they know this game's gonna sell itself. Like, marketing doesn't end on day one. That's when it almost begins. That's when everyone's gonna be playing the game, or a lot of people will be playing the game, they'll be sharing their clips, they'll be showing off the cool things they can do, and that's gonna sell itself forever. Like, that's perpetual marketing that costs Nintendo almost nothing.
Plus, I feel like a launch trailer is in the bag. I know they said
they say pre-release.
Okay. Yeah, because I know the launch trailer oftentimes comes out before the launch, but I feel like it doesn't matter. It might be a lie, or it might just come out the day the game comes out. But yeah, there's going to be another trailer for this too, which I think could serve maybe one of the functions that we are talking about here with this one. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see if there are clips in this that, Andre, you made this point earlier about, like, there's a chance we've seen the whole game, and I think that's fascinating, because what if we have, like, what if and obviously we haven't, obviously there's tons of stuff we don't know about, but, like, how much of this game is, hey, remember Breath of the Wild, we're doing a lot of that kind of stuff, but instead here are your 4 core abilities, your 4 core verbs, and now you're going around messing around doing things with these as opposed to what you had before. What if that is it? And if that's what we see in the trailer tomorrow, that's going to be weird.
I agree. That would be weird if they hype up the trailer and we only see that.
Right.
Which is why I want to ask Jake, since you've been like a champion of this idea, like potentially happening, is this the last chance they have to show or tease a playable Zelda? Would that be saved for release, not teased at all before? If it happens. Had to put you on the spot with this one.
No, you're right, because it's true. I've been saying for about a year that this is happening, so I gotta put my money where my mouth is. So, I think we probably see it tomorrow. I think that there is
Okay.
a chance that they hold it off as a super secret, and they literally don't say a word until the game is out, until like after the game is out, because you know what? No, I take it back. No, I just that's way better. That goes with their strategy way more. They
It
are
does.
literally, yeah. Part of the reason we haven't seen so much of this game is because there is a huge chunk of it that they have internally decided we will not tell anyone. This is a legitimate secret, and we're just like holding on to it. Really quick, I do want to jump back to this Mario movie thing because I just checked something. I find this fascinating. So like, I think content creators have really been able to convert Mario movie excitement into like our jobs and have been able to like get a lot of viewers that way. I just checked the 3DS. God, I'm gonna kill myself. The Switch eShop top charts. Are you all aware of what's at the top of the charts right now?
For what charts?
The Switch.
The Switch. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it 3D World?
Number one,
Is it New
Mario
Super Mario
Kart.
Bros. Deluxe?
Mario
Okay,
Kart,
number 1,
yeah.
Mario Kart. Number 2, Super Mario 3D World. Number 3, Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. Number 4, Super Mario Odyssey.
Yep.
I don't think it was this way before the movie came out.
I don't think so.
Those are all the ones that were on sale. Those are all the ones that were in the sale that ended last week, though.
That makes sense. But
yeah.
but like still, I feel like there is something that wasn't maybe visualized properly, even about when this game is coming out.
It is.
You know?
It's crazy to me that we're a month away from this thing, and
Exactly, to the day.
and it still feels like we know so little. We have a super chat here from Fisto, I think. I always hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you, Fisto, who says, I want a broad little tidbit to whet my appetite. Miyamoto explained he spent over 100 hours playing Skyward Sword prior to launch, or when it was confirmed that players can go straight to Ganon in Breath of the Wild. Yeah, that was I feel like we haven't had that thing yet. That one or a big moment. We've had like a lot of little things that could be big things, but I feel like we haven't had that like, man, this is why you need to play this, right? And I guess kind of to Jake's point, I think they are I know they're holding back something. They have to be, and there is going to be something. I think there will be something big in this trailer. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe Playable Zelda. Yeah,
Playable Zelda.
So
Playable Zelda.
So thank you for the super chat, Fisto. I think you're right. I think my hope and expectation is there has to be something to get us talking. It can't just be a series of cool looking things again. We've had that before. There has to be something for us to latch on to. It's like, okay, I get it. This is why I need to play Tears of the Kingdom. Because because here's something to consider. They really need to sell this game to people like who the casual fans. The ones who did play Breath of the Wild and can recognize this as the same world. Like, they need to know why they need to play this game. So they need to show off a lot of, at least, new things you can do, and I guess, major set pieces that weren't there before. So, and I expect that to be in the form of cutscenes to some degree.
I just kind of feel like maybe they don't care. Like, maybe those people are wave 2. Maybe they see those people as like later in the summer or even like holiday sales that they'll pick up anyways. I don't know. It's such a weird thing because like May is kind of a weird time for a game to come out to begin with. So I'm already like, man, I wonder strategically what the thought was there.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll make sense at the end of the year. But Andre, I'm kind of curious. Can you run a poll in the chat? I want to know hype levels for this game. Because I have not seen
the trailer.
The game.
Okay.
I have not seen. I want level 1 to be like goaty. I think about this. I don't want to play other games right now. This is the only thing on my mind. It's like, oh, I just wish I was playing Tears of the Kingdom. I'm loading up Breath of the Wild, and it just doesn't taste right. It's just
Yeah, it's that Switch cartridge.
everyone in this stream has to promise not to gift that. Everyone has to promise. Okay. But yeah, then just kind of like falling off from there, because I feel like we got that 10 minutes of gameplay a couple weeks ago, and I saw people reacting kind of like half positively, half negatively to it. I saw a lot of people that like weren't into that 10 minutes. So I don't know. I feel like we keep talking about it like this is this certain type of game, but I don't know. Like I feel like I see people talk about Starfield more than I see them talk about Tears of the Kingdom. Which is weird.
Yeah, they've been. It's like this kind of like low, this like ever present amount of hype, and it doesn't feel like it's really climbed to the degree that we had for Breath of the Wild or even Skyward Sword or previous games. But this might be the trailer to deliver the hype levels that people are expecting. Okay, right now, 65% of people in the chat so far, or in our poll, are super hyped. So, okay, yeah, good. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like I just need a little bit more to latch onto, and I think this trailer, I hope that this trailer is that. I mean, I think, you know what's funny? It doesn't really matter, but I felt like the previous trailer we had prior to the 10 minutes of gameplay almost took away from the gameplay. Like, I think had they not teased the custom vehicles, that 10 minutes of gameplay would hit so much harder for me. Because we basically predicted almost everything that they actually did end up showing off. Not to the degree that they did, but like we knew custom vehicles were going to be there. We had speculated you could do custom weapons. So them showing that off wasn't too surprising. But now I'm hoping that, hey, here are the surprises. Here are the things that we haven't even teased, or we have and you didn't know there were teases. Here's what you can do in this game.
Okay, yeah, I see. You know, I think here's a good question about this trailer for tomorrow, right? Is it going to reach that point? This is completely like opposite end of the spectrum of what we're talking about. Is it going to show too much? Like, is it going to reach that point? Because we've already had people. We've already had people that have been like, no, like, I don't want to see any more on this game, even though we arguably haven't seen that much. But is there the chance that tomorrow's trailer hits that point where it's, okay, I wish I didn't see that before playing it?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, there is a chance it could be the case without us realizing that's the case until the game comes out. Otherwise, no, I don't think so. I think they've shown off so little of this thing that I don't think there's a chance. I don't think 3 minutes is enough time, even with the most tightly constructed trailer of all time, to really spoil enough about this game. I'm not concerned at all about that. So, I mean, I'm actually shocked that they are confirming this is the final trailer. This is their final big push. And 3 minutes isn't much. Like, I thought there was a chance we could get a final direct, a final, like, you know, more gameplay demonstrations beyond the 10 minutes. And even that really didn't show us all that much. So that's the least of my concerns.
Well, theoretically, we could still get more gameplay, more gameplay demonstrations if they have more things they want to show in that case. But
that's
true.
I didn't think about that.
Different trailers.
I didn't think about that.
Why did you curse us like this? Oh my god! They made it sound so definitive.
They made it sound so definitive. Trailer. So they specifically said trailer.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
We could absolutely we can get like every week leading up to the game.
Oh my
Here's
god!
Here's we get this time. It'll be like a minute-long video. I'm going to show you a new recipe you can cook. I'm going to show you a vehicle that you can craft.
I didn't even think about that.
Here's how this village changed from Breath of the Wild. Like, you could get tiny little things like that start pushing marketing that to most people watching, this is meaningless. But like, when you really think about it, they're still staying true to their word if they do that.
Oh dear God. Oh, God. That does not enthuse me, I have to say. Yeah, it's funny. I pulled up that tweet and I looked back on it just because I wanted to see what the actual language was. And you are correct. It is pretty explicitly using the word trailer. And like, I don't think the 10-minute thing we saw a couple weeks ago was a trailer.
Nope, it was a gameplay demonstration.
Right.
So they could easily do a Tears of the Kingdom direct and do whatever the heck they want, as long as there's no trailer.
Right. Yep. I almost at this point say lock it in. I'm expecting that now. Yeah.
Wow, all right. You dealt some psychic damage to Jake there, but evidently...
Yeah, honest to God, I was like, I'm living in a universe this whole time where I was like, this is the boldest marketing I've ever seen in my life. They said, this is the last thing you're ever seeing at this game. See you in a month, buy it. And I liked that. I thought that was cool.
We are seeing substantially less of this game than we had Breath of the Wild, barring any potential showcases coming up. And I mean, I think that might largely be a function of the fact that the world is, you know, base level the same as before. Obviously, there's gonna be changes in there, but maybe, you know, I think one, they just may not have that much to show off in terms of geography, but that they don't want to spoil it potentially. So I don't know. We'll have a better idea tomorrow, of course. We had a super chat here from Paul Gale, the one and only who joined me at the Mario movie premiere, who with a super chat says, "Does this trailer hit 20 million views, Breath of the Wild style?"
No,
I don't think so.
No.
I think we'll look at it 2 weeks after it comes out, and it'll be between, looking into my crystal ball, 8 and 10.
That sounds pretty decent. I decided to check while you were saying that, and all of the branded as Tears of the Kingdom trailers have about 6.4 million. They're all average at about that.
Ooh, so I was a little high.
A little high.
Maybe this will do better.
But yeah, I could see as the final trailer it rising a little bit. So yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Speaking of rising, the hype levels are pretty much through the roof here, based on our poll.
Oh wow!
65% of the people are so hyped. Only 1% of the people are experiencing low hype. So,
wow, chat, talk to me. Get in the chat. I need to know. Wait, because there is so little to latch onto, and I'm like many people. I have been one of those that has gone back and started playing some Breath of the Wild, and I got to tell you, it's actually made me a little nervous for what we've seen of Tears of the Kingdom because I just like hate anything that slows me down. And I feel like a lot of the building and a lot of the managing, like slow. The crafting and like all the like, oh, let me go through this menu and find this thing I want. I'm a little like, this isn't what's fun about Breath of the Wild. Yeah. Andre, it looked like you were keying up to say something.
Oh, I was looking at Super Chat from Noah Charles the Man. He says, does the fact that we have not seen too much mean that the game is in trouble? No, that's I'm not worried about that. I mean, maybe, a concern might be, is the world too similar? I'm also not worried about the game being poor or, I mean, it may not be as good as we are hoping. That's certainly possible, but I'm not too worried about the game's quality overall. Like, Nintendo's been working on this for 6 years. Like, at a base level, it'll be competent, So, but at the same time, like, when you are following up what is widely considered to be one of the best games of all time, like, naturally, you are dealing with, I mean, we're even telling by it from our own poll here, even with minimal marketing so far. Like, the hype is through the roof for most people, and it is possible people could be disappointed. So, again, I think tomorrow we'll have a better idea of how that's going to shake out. But it is also difficult to fully gauge from trailers, especially if it's anything like Breath of the Wild's final trailer, which really wasn't that indicative, didn't really indicate how well that game was going to play, or how that game was going to play. So, though we had known that from the previous gameplay demos.
Yeah, I gotta wonder though, like, could I hop off this call right now and put together 3 minutes based on all of the videos we have already seen, do a little voiceover work, you know what I'm saying? Link, like, and basically create what we end up seeing tomorrow? Could it be done? You know what I mean? Like, are we gonna see that level of no surprises?
Ooh.
Is that, just like
no.
Okay,
there'll be surprises.
I hope so.
Yeah, no, there's 100% gonna be surprise. I think if anything, tomorrow is going to be the time when we see the surprises they've been holding out on. Like this, this is going to be the reason why we need to play this game. I think. I don't know what those are going to be, but
I do think there is a level of comparison to make to that final Breath of the Wild trailer. Not as like a whole thing structurally, but specifically the kinds of things they showed off in that. Like you mentioned, like segments of cutscenes. We probably will get a little bit of that. We've already gotten a little bit of that. Most of that, like, interaction between Link, Zelda, and Ganon's corpse are clearly all from like a cutscene. So we've already gotten a decent amount of that. But I actually think this will be the time where we finally see some other characters, but not like to a major degree. Like that original Breath of the Wild trailer, we saw a little bit of like the newer champions. We saw a little bit of Sidon. We saw a little bit of Riju. We saw a little bit of the original champions. I think we could see the new champions like Riju, Sidon show up in this for like a second. Like nothing major, just something to show that, like, look, the people of Hyrule that you knew, they are here. Oh, probably Purah. Purah's probably a lot. People love her. So, but
I didn't think about that, Tris. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Because that last trailer served to kind of remind you this isn't just Link. Like the world isn't empty. There's people in this world. There's a little bit, like, you'll get hints of the story in the trailer. I think we are going to see that here. We'll see a little bit more of hints as to what the story itself is. We'll see the other races a little bit. Some memorable characters from Breath of the Wild showing up here. It may not be the highlight of the trailer, but it might be like a small portion of it that stands out to a lot of people. You'll see all over Twitter, oh my god, Sidon's back, things like that.
Oh, there's a degree to which this is gonna bug me, just because I do feel like they're essentially gonna be burning the few cutscenes that they have for like cool moments in this trailer. When, like, I think we all know 99% of this game is like not cool linear story focused moments. And it's like you mentioned that thing with Ganon's corpse, and I really hope I'm wrong about this, but I just feel like when the game comes out, we're gonna get like 12 seconds of like some like evil gobbledygook just like being like, I'm here, you're gonna have to fight me, and then it's done. And then like that scene might be cool, but then like you're off, dude. Like then you're off. You're off exploring. We saw jumping from a sky island down to the plains of Hyrule, and you could activate your little, the word's escaping me, thingamabob. Thank you.
Yeah.
And just go. So like so it's not like there are gonna be, I don't know. It's like I when I think about these story things, I think there has to be at least like a little bit of linearity applied to them. And right now I'm just not seeing it. And I feel like they know what the fun of Breath of the Wild was, and they don't want to slow you down with that kind of stuff. So you get these set dressing moments of cutscenes and stuff like that. So tomorrow, if they try to get me hyped with those, I'm gonna resist. I'm gonna try my best to go shield. I'm gonna go shields up.
You can't resist it, Jake. There's no resisting
no,
it.
I'm gonna close my heart to it because I don't believe him.
Lion a Demise with a super chat, thank you, says Matt Mercer is voicing Ganondorf. It's the age of sexy Ganondorf. I don't know who's Matt Mercer. Does anyone?
So Matt Mercer is a very prominent voice actor. Does a lot. I guess the most notable thing I could say to you is that he voices Chrom in Smash and Fire Emblem. But
Okay.
I don't know. It's not confirmed that he's voicing Ganon. Everyone assumes based on the sound of the voice that it sounds like him, but unfortunately it hasn't been fully confirmed. That is like the biggest point of speculation, though.
Yeah, and we heard his voice already in one of the trailers, right? So it sounded good.
He's one of those critical role guys. You know those? Yeah.
Let's see. Samuel Williams says in the chat, the fun of Breath of the Wild is the fact they can do anything. Yeah, I think there will have to be more. I think there will be more gameplay here than perhaps there was in the Breath of the Wild trailer, just because I think that is a lot of the appeal, especially this time. The fact that they're really cranking that dial up, the fact that you can build and create these contraptions, and I think they're gonna tease more of that. Like the thing that Aonuma built in the gameplay showcase was a very basic thing, and we had seen more elaborate creations in the trailer prior to that, and I suspect we're gonna see some crazy stuff tomorrow. At least I hope. Like I want to see like the nuts and bolts level of like crazy crap you can build, right?
There's something to that. If instead of being, because it's funny, none of us have said the word dungeons during this entire live stream. None of us have said that.
I had a comment put aside that was going to mention that. Yep.
Yeah, and I think at least my anticipation for tomorrow is in fact kind of like a building on what we've already seen. Kind of a like, okay, last time you saw us, we built like a extremely dumb looking boat and something else that was pretty like kind of baby mode Zelda making vehicles. So now if in this we get something that it's like, okay, Link is like in a car and then he presses a button and it shoots a green shell, we're all gonna be like, oh, whoa, dang.
Oh my, what they have like these kart races in this game?
Yeah. Like if it gets to that level, see, that'd be a cool trailer moment if he's racing somebody.
Oh man,
that would be cool.
Actually.
That degree of control. Yeah.
The idea of dungeons, though, as you mentioned, because I had to set aside in my notes here, I don't think we're gonna definitively see like Link enters a dungeon and everybody watching pops up. We have dungeons confirmed. I think kind of like how we saw like Link in caves a few times. We're gonna see Link like inside something that's not quite a shrine, but it's gonna be like the interior of something. He's solving a puzzle, and we're gonna see tons of YouTube thumbnails. Is this a dungeon? And that's
Cope. That's Cope. That's Cope. That's 100% Cope.
No,
that
but
is not. It is.
No.
I will answer those YouTube thumbnails right now. No, no, it's not.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what we're gonna see. We're gonna see something like that, where it's gonna be like Link solving a puzzle. It's gonna be indoors. It won't clearly be on a sky island or in a cave, and people. It's just gonna be everyone going, "Is this a dungeon?" And that's closest we're gonna get to that.
No, the reason there are tears in the kingdom is because there are no dungeons. I'm so confident that something that people are imagining as like the classic Zelda dungeons is not going to show up in this game at this point, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work with the way that like the wide range of abilities, being able to go wherever you want, the creative freedom that you have, putting you in a dungeon. I don't see it. I don't see, unless they like heavily restrict you. And I just don't think that's in this game's DNA. But can they evoke the the kinds of feelings and the satisfaction of doing things like you do in a dungeon? 100%. But yeah.
I'm almost wondering, I'm trying to imagine how the dungeons or shrines could return. I almost wonder if those are going to be the drive to make these contraptions. Like they're going to be maybe hidden in like crazy places. They're going to be inaccessible. Like maybe they're like the goal for the things you can build in order to reach them. You know, they could be in the sky now. We don't know where they could be. Assuming they're back at all, which I feel like they would have to be to some degree. Killia Ego in the chat had earlier said all they need to do is show one dungeon in the trailer and they'll sell the game to everybody else that's been hesitating to buy. And yeah, I guess it's hard to imagine like if we'll know for sure that's the trailer or the dungeon, as Jake was kind of alluding to, and what Jake was saying no, that it won't be. I am feeling more like we'll get something that looks dungeon-esque. But, you know, that could be anything. Like, the underground areas alone could look like a dungeon, you know? But that's closer to how they have historically been than anything in Breath of the Wild, aside from shrines. So, I don't know.
I mean, what if the shrines that we kind of know we have...
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody at this point is still thinking that there's going to be like 100 and whatever of these things.
Hopefully
so,
not.
yeah. So is there any chance that there's just less of them and they're bigger? And they like go on for a while, you know what I mean? And maybe you have to do some vehicle building stuff. Maybe you have to do whatever, that kind of like yeah. I don't know. Like, and again, are people going to call those dungeons? Because they're not. But like, is the attempt going to be to like scratch that itch? Maybe.
You know, I hadn't even considered this. Can you use vehicles inside dungeons now? Like, will that be something you can do? You have to solve the puzzles now involves like crafting and.
Bet on it.
Yeah.
Sounds like money. They will have set aside like random materials that are just like in that shrine or whatever, and it'll be like good luck, you know. And
right.
and I think that's kind of fun.
Don't the shrines that we think are shrines now? I mean, they appear to be like almost like warp points or something, possibly, right? Like they're not elevators anymore. So, no, you don't think so?
Tris, what do you think? Yeah.
They look magical to some degree, and like from the icon on the map, from what we see, it looks like there's like a little like opening in front of them. It might need to be like a crawl space, but it does look like there's some sort of opening in front of them. So they might warp you somewhere. It might be something that's not as physical as the shrines, where it was like an elevator and it was the whole weird underground thing that you wonder how it even fits in the space that it is. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But I do think it'll serve the same purpose of you go to this point, you activate it, and then it sends you somewhere to do your puzzles.
Yeah, it's funny. We see like in the this is the one I can never remember. What's the name of the power that just lets you go up? What is it?
Recall? Oh, Ascend?
Ascend. We see like Ascend has, when he goes through the cave, there's like that light green color motif. And which you see a lot throughout this game. And I feel like we see that kind of same color motif going on the top of these like so-called shrines.
Yep.
So I could kind of see a world where it's like, okay, go into this little hut. And since it's got that little spiral color motif going off on the top, maybe you use your Ascend and it like shoots you out and you go like way up. You know what I mean? I could kind of see that. Since we've kind of built that in with the like swimming through the cave thing already, I could see, like that kind of makes sense in my head, I guess.
Nintendon the Otaku in the with the super chat, thank you, says, "What do you guys think the Amiibo support will be?" So we actually had a whole video about this, right, Tris?
Yeah, I did a video it was one of our countdown videos, I'm pretty sure, going over what we think Amiibo could be, but they also have revealed that Amiibo will give you different different designs for your paraglider. I think it'll still give you the different outfits as well, but we have a whole video on that. Definitely check it out because it was pretty fun. We also have another super chat from Fisto, by the way, just above that, who says, "We are missing the hype build up from media being able to play the game, the Great Plateau demo at conventions like E3. We don't have that for this game." And it's true. We have comparatively seen significantly less of the game because there hasn't been like a big gameplay blowout for it. It's true.
Yeah,
but go
ahead, Jake.
But that was also just during Wii U desperation times.
True.
So You know what I mean? Like they needed these outlets to write positive things about our sweet last son of the Wii U, and they just don't need that right now. You know what I mean? We're all jumping to write about Tears of the Kingdom. We're all jumping to talk about the everybody's favorite son, the Nintendo Switch. So it's like, you know, it's a completely different ballgame. I still don't really understand the strategy here, just especially after reading about, I don't know, Andre, I don't know if you saw this interview, but there was a cool one with the director of the Mario movie talking about tracking the audience reception. Yeah, okay. To like, okay, we put out that first image just that poster, and then like seeing Google Trend results, and I was like, whoa. And he kind of got through this whole thing and was like, yeah, and by the end of it, we kind of really weren't that surprised at how well this movie did. And I was like, what?
Wow.
So so you have to assume that Nintendo, they've got some more stuff over there, and maybe they literally come out and go, there is a sequel to Breath of the Wild, and it just they get a result back that is so stupid that they go, why would we say anything else?
Right.
Why
yeah.
would
It comes to the point where like marketing the game almost could be harmful.
Right.
Like
yeah.
maybe we'll show something people don't like. So
yeah.
I think that largely is it. Like the hype from Breath of the Wild alone will sell this game. It's just a matter of how much more beyond that do you want to try to reach and how much is it going to cost to get there. And two, even putting aside, that, like I as a fan, and I know I may be a minority opinion on this, but a lot of people I've read are like, I'm not hyped enough for this game. Like even I will say even myself, I'm not like ridiculously hyped. Like I'm excited, but like I'm not like through the roof hyped for this game. And I'm actually okay with that. I don't need to be, like I like Breath of the Wild. I'm excited for what they do in the sequel, and that's all I need. Of course I'm gonna play it no matter what. I'm not gonna skip this game. So, and I like the fact that there is a possibility that it could enthrall me and excite me and surprise me without having everything shown beforehand. And we've seen by the end of everything, we'd have seen 20 minutes maybe of this game if there's not much more beyond this point.
That.
Yeah.
Not even, I don't think. Not even 20 minutes. Yeah.
Out of like a multi-100-hour adventure, like.
Right. This is kind of a funny suggestion. We have a super chat from Robert V. Gomez. Is hiding this much a good idea when there is a high chance the game could leak? Things like a playable Zelda. This is a classic Pokemon pre-release problem. Triss, I know you know what I'm talking about. That like for absolutely no reason, we're gonna be super secretive about
a larger interest like this. Give it like maybe like the week before. As soon as it starts hitting stores physically, that's it. Someone somewhere, it's gonna get out early, and then that's gonna be when we have our big caution tape thumbnail go up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've already seen this a little bit. There was that one YouTube man who got the OLED, who got the, you know what I mean? They announced that he got that OLED like way before it was announced. He's out here going, hey, look at this sweet OLED.
That's right.
Like,
I forgot about that. I thought you were about to say. I thought you were about to say the art book, which we haven't covered. We're not talking about here, just for people worried about that. But yeah, that art book leak also happened ridiculously early.
Yeah.
So
I forgot about that, honestly. My take is that there must be nothing that interesting in that art book because I haven't heard a peep about it.
Looks like our stream stopped for a second, according to chat.
Oh no! Well, the chat.
I mentioned leaks. Nintendo got us.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Nintendo said, Jake.
It was as soon as we said leaks, it seems. Hold on.
I think YouTube is having some issues in general because did you guys' chat stop briefly?
Oh, maybe.
No, it looks like it's still going for me.
No, okay, okay. I think. Are we good? Are we back? No, it's like, what's going on here?
We're back.
Are we back? Okay. Is it stable? Okay. Are we stable?
Listen. I was just screaming about leaks. That's all you know. All right.
Yeah. We were talking about leaks, not discussing the leaks, but specifically about the idea of the game probably will leak.
Yeah.
And the fact that parts of it already have, the art book is already leaked, the OLED is already leaked. It's kind of inevitable. Probably within a week or two of the game releasing, suddenly someone somewhere, I got it at a random store. Yeah. And then our caution tape YouTube thumbnail will go up.
Listen, I get it. Back when I lived in Brooklyn, I had a video game little store next to me. I won't name them. Don't want to get them into trouble. But they gave me stuff early all the time. I had the hookup, So like I get, people are gonna do it, and I feel like I know this isn't the same thing, but based on how early apparently that OLED was being stocked up, I feel like who knows when this game is gonna start showing up in stores because I'm sure they're stocking it out the wazoo.
I'm scared for when it happens because
I'm also not too worried. I feel like this game's almost going to be spoiler proof, at least beyond what they show tomorrow. Because the whole point of the game, even with Breath of the Wild, I mean, you could argue they spoiled most of Breath of the Wild in the trailers. Like they showed off all the cool stuff.
That's true.
In that, I say cool stuff in quotes, like the conventional cool stuff, like the cutscenes. But like the meat of the game is from playing it. It's from the things that you can't spoil in a tweet or, in a single tweet or even hundreds of tweets. Like, it's just from the experience of playing it. So I'm not overly concerned. I think most of the things that could be spoiled in like I don't know, in a surprising gameplay sense are going to be shown tomorrow. Like, I think they're going to finally tease the things that they've been holding back on. And I'm not overly worried. Obviously, people can still spoil the ending. They can still spoil, like, major plot twists. But I'm not...
Oh, I don't know. I kind of disagree with this. I feel like there are a lot of spoiler tidbits that I don't want to know in service of the fusion ability. I feel like, you know what I mean? It's like everybody was like, yo, what happens when I put the meat on a stick? It's like, don't tell me. Don't you dare tell me until I'm in this video game and I press the buttons for myself.
That's kind of what I mean, though. Like, there are going to be so many options available. Like, you can't spoil them all. Like, we were finding out stuff about Breath of the Wild years after it came out. So, yeah, maybe you'll find out what meat on a stick does. But you're not going to find out, the different variations you can have on that,
Okay.
Plus,
I'm not too worried.
Like with a game like Tears of the Kingdom being like Breath of the Wild, I mean... Like, for example, because I do think Breath of the Wild had leaked, and I think the most we had gotten out of it when that happened was, like, essentially the story tidbits you get from the Great Plateau, and that's it. Because of how people trying to do anything in the game took a while. Which, oh no, you learn the champions are dead. You learn that from King Rome in the first, like, 2 hours of the game.
Right.
Before you leave the Great Plateau, so... I can see if it does leak, we learn things about the beginning of the game that in the moment people will be upset by, but then upon actually playing the game, oh, we learned that right away. Okay, thankfully, experience is not spoiled. But yeah.
Nintendo the Otaku with another super chat. Thank you. Says, I want playable Zelda as long as it isn't playable like Mary Jane in Spider-Man. I need her to be unique, but can fight, not a little boring filler section.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Like, if Zelda's gonna be playable, I hope they go the distance with her. Like, I don't want it to be some gimmick. I want it to be a central thing to the game. Jake, I mean, you were kind of on this train earlier. What do you want from a playable Zelda?
Okay, so she's got her little Nintendo Switch tablet in her official art, and
I think that the entire she just played Breath of the Wild on that thing.
She's stuck in a cave, and it's like a 127 hours situation. So whatever she happened to
have in this, Link already loses. Link already kind of
trying to save her. That's how he. So, but no. I think that. So yeah, my vision for this is that she kind of has a slate of Sheikah abilities and is doing like little puzzles and stuff in the low underground Hyrule, the Hyrule that you didn't know was there. and I think that this makes sense because I feel like this video game is like, look at how high up you can go. I find it so hard to believe that part of this is not also going down. I just find that hard to believe. I feel like that's just kind of how Nintendo operates. So yeah, we've kind of seen them explore. We see Link and Zelda go on this little like Indiana Jones, I'm down in a cave, I'm diving, I'm doing something here. And you're telling me that that's just going to be some cutscene that we never return to? No way.
Looks like stream went down again.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I was on a good one.
It looked you were. Like, as far everything seems fine on my end. I think it's a YouTube issue. Let me check.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just kept talking. That must have been insane painful for you.
Oh, no, it's fine.
It wasn't that long. It was at the last like few things. It was at the last couple moments.
I'm looking to see if anyone else is having issues.
Take us back.
Are we back now? I don't know what is YouTube doing.
A bunch of people
I'm gonna blame YouTube.
Yeah, blaming YouTube.
All right, Jake, can you summarize real quick what you were just saying for those?
Yeah, Zelda's gonna have interesting Sheikah Slate stuff to do in the lower area of Hyrule because we got such a big emphasis on going up. I just feel like this is how Nintendo operates. It's not just about going up, it's also about going down. We had the little trailer, you see them going down to the caves, doing whatever. There's no way that's just gonna be relegated to a cutscene, and my vision for it is that sometimes you come across some weird stuff as Link, and you need to switch over to Zelda, do something on the bottom to affect stuff that's going on up top. And then there's like a little play there, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's my vision for it.
I love that
definitely see
idea.
this
I
happening.
love that. I like the interactive idea that with Zelda doing things underground, that Link then can interact with above ground, perhaps. Like maybe
Yeah.
that's where the shrines come into play, or dungeons, or whatever. Maybe she's
Mm,
the one uncovering these things, and then Link can access them based on what Zelda's done. So I hope
mm.
that would be a really fun idea. I think. Um, yeah.
Somebody in the chat pointed out too that the ascend ability almost feels like tailor made for, like there's a there's just a kind of digging inherent to that. Yeah, and it's kind of funny. I almost wonder if the game will ever like let you ascend down. I wonder if that's ever something that they'll think about. You know what I
Descend.
mean? Yeah, yeah. I wonder if that ever comes into play, because why not? You know what I mean?
Like underground, you mean, or to the
Yeah,
surface?
yeah, because if you can fly up until
Yeah.
you hit a roof, why can't you go down until you hit like a pot? This also ties into my idea for what did I call them in our other stream? Secret hidey holes in caves, where there's like kind of puzzles where instead of coming out of the roof of a cave, you come into like a little pocket. And it's
Right.
like, oh yeah, and there's like a little like a treasure there or something, and it's like, oh, you got to do some detective work to figure out where those little pockets are going to be in the cave. There's
Hmm.
so much you can do with these abilities, and I feel like the caves is one part of it. There's got to be other parts. I think we're going down somehow.
Yeah, in any case, I mean, I think
Yeah.
you kind of said that there's going to be a lot you can do with these powers, and they've only
Mhm.
scratched the surface with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping we'll see a little bit more of that tomorrow. Like, I'm hoping we'll have more gameplay than purely cutscenes. Because if you look back at the previous Breath of the Wild final trailer, the final Breath of the Wild trailer, it was largely landscape shots and cinematics. And I hope they're leaning more
Yeah.
into gameplay this time, with, of course, some cinematics mixed in. Because there's still like a lot of questions I have about how this game actually plays. I'm hoping they tease more of that.
I hope so.
Yeah. Kind of to that point, Jeremy Lewis with a super chat, thank you, Jeremy, says, is the future of Zelda vehicle building / crafting? And if so, are you guys happy about this, or do you want a more traditional experience?
Thank you for the super chat, Jeremy. I think that's a great question. I feel like definitely no. I'm curious, Tris, what you think about this. I feel like if you enjoy the kind of Breath of the Wild gameplay, you better soak it up. You better soak it up in Tears of the Kingdom, because I think the next Zelda game, big 3D Zelda game, is going to look very different.
Yeah, same. I don't think what they establish in this is going to be like the mainstay stuff for Zelda. I think they're going to try to keep it. That is what's here for this one. Look at the motion controls used in Skyward Sword, for example. I think it's something that's going to be unique to this game and this iteration of Hyrule.
Yeah.
What else do you
Wow.
want to see? Like, what personally are you most excited? What do you think Nintendo has to do to fully sell you on this game, Jake? What do you need to see?
I would like to see a cool hottie. I would like to see a guy wearing goggles on his forehead that challenges you to races around Hyrule. And he's got like, maybe he's got like a little goatee. And like when he talks to you, he's very confident about his speed abilities. He's kind of like, what's the name of that little weirdo in Super Mario Sunshine that wears the costume?
Il Pantissimo.
Yes, Pantissimo. I want like that kind of guy in Tears of the Kingdom. That just like every time you see him, he drifts, he like turns a corner and he's like, what's up, Link? Pulls the goggles up and is like, you ready for a race?
Oh my god.
Is it weird? Is it weird that like you're saying all this and I picture a very specific character that won't fill that role because he already does something else, and it's Robbie, the other scientist with Purah. I picture it because he's got the goggles and everything.
I gotta look this fellow up.
What is
Look up
hilarious
Breath of the
is
Wild,
Jake,
Age of Calamity, Robbie, because I can see
Jake,
him doing that.
I don't think Jake even realized this. He's literally describing a character from Nuts and Bolts, from Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. He's got the goggles, he's got the attitude, he's constantly challenging you to races. His name's Trophy Thomas, and he even had something else that Jake mentioned. It's amazing.
Wow.
Straight up exists. So that'd be amazing. Oh, and the Tendon says bring Groose back. That would actually be a great role for Groose. Yeah.
Bring Groose back.
What if that's Beetle's
wow.
new thing? He's a racer now.
Wow, I just looked up Trophy Thomas, startlingly similar to what I was thinking. So
Did you look up Robbie?
Yeah, Robbie's a little weirdo. I don't know about Robbie.
He is weird.
Yeah, I
That's the point.
No, I want like a hottie. I want somebody that's like, Yeah, that like he's working on his cars all day.
Okay,
Like you've got little shrimpy, little skinny legs Beetle in one corner. This guy is the inverse. Okay, he's making Beetle look like a slump. Yeah.
All right.
Please don't let this be Tears of the Kingdom's version of Tingle. Please don't. You made the comparison to Beetle. I'm just like, oh no. Please
No,
don't.
Tingle's gonna be. Tingle will just be in this game though, like for sure. Yeah, Tingle's definitely gonna be in this game. Like inspired by Link's adventure in Breath of the Wild, you will find an NPC who has taken up the mantle of Tingle, and you're gonna help him get to the sky.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Why are you all just like okay, Jake, shut up? Like,
I mean, Tingle was all about flying. He is all about the aerial thing. So I guess if there was a time to bring him into Breath of the Wild universe, now will be it. So
I just don't want Tingle.
I just want to shoot. You know what? I want to shoot Tingle down. So if I can do that, if I can fly my plane into him.
Wow.
Could you imagine that's the quest? He's like up in the air and he's like, I can't get down.
Oh my god, that'd be really funny, actually.
I like how he sounds like a toad now.
Yeah. Well, he always had a weird little...
He did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. How does this trailer open up? What's the first thing we see tomorrow? At 7 a.m., what do we see?
Danger.
Ganondorf? Do we hear Ganondorf?
We see Link has two normal arms. He does not have a goopy arm. And I think we get an expansion of the little scene where like we see like the falling in the cave or whatever. But I think the first thing that this trailer will do is going to like, man, maybe this is stupid, but I literally see like the Sheikah slate like breaking in front of our eyes, and then his like something happening to his arm. You know, like I want this moment in the trailer.
Right.
Like yeah. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be a cool first little chunk.
Oh man, I feel like most of the trailers have opened up with like shots of the world, and I feel like it's gonna start with that again. But like areas we haven't seen, like a closer look at like Death Mountain with the malice pouring out of it, or like whatever the big tornado in the Hebrew region is. We're gonna see like a little bit like you said, danger. I think we're gonna see the danger like a bit closer up in the world, like in the shots of the world that we're gonna start with, before it then goes into something of a cutscene, something of gameplay.
Interesting. See, Tris, because I think it's first. Because let me sell you on this. Let me paint a landscape. So you get the danger, you get the rubble falling. Zelda's I don't know. Something happened to Zelda. We get the arm, the shot, and then like we cut to black, and that's when you get Link. Open your eyes. And the music, I'm not kidding. I'm not even kidding. And then the music swells, and we get da 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 da, and it's like a new thing where instead of running up to the cliffside and kind of like looking out, you run up to the cliffside and then jump off. And you're going down in the sky, and then you get montage shots of all of our cool characters. We see the little fish, we see the little bird, we see the big Chungus Goron guy, we get the hot sexy guy with the goggles. We get all those guys are in the game now, and it's like, oh my god, this world is so crazy. And then boom, we get red goopy stuff, and that's Ganon. And now we're back to danger, and now we're in vehicles, we're shooting arrows. This is the action-packed portion, and then you get some logo. Pre-order now.
During specifically the danger section, I think, remember that the dragon that we've seen on the bridge of Hylia that everyone's saying looks like Gleeok, the giant, like the flaming dragon. I think we're actually going to see Link fight that for a clip.
Ooh, that's
I think
a good
we'll
clip.
see a little bit of that for a clip.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I want to see that guy in action.
I'm glad chat is enjoying this.
There's someone in the chat who's like, just show the meat arrow. It was that's all we need, the meat arrow. Emily says, okay, here's the thing. I think the weather system is going to be crazy in this game. That's something we haven't really talked about much, because, yeah, the weather in Breath of the Wild is basically rain or not. Rain or shine, really, outside of, like, regional stuff. And I could see that being an area that they play up, especially that has an influence in how your creations work, so...
Oh, true.
Ooh, I didn't think about that either. Yeah, I'd agree, advanced nature stuff, and I feel like the dumbest little hint that there's going to be more of this is, we talked about it before the last stream and then it was confirmed, the splash. I was like, whoa, so much energy went into the splash and it looked so good how you get like that first wave, and then you get that second one where there's a little drizzle.
It looked like it was raining afterward. Yeah,
so cool. And I feel like all of the different weather things are gonna have like things on top of it for sure
Yeah.
that are gonna
Right.
make it like different. Especially since like we're talking about vehicles. Think about how cool it would be to be like, oh, I'm driving my vehicle, things going great. Now I'm on ice. How does that like make the vehicle a little weird? Maybe you got to make it a little special to go through snow, like
Mhm.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
if they add
cool.
like treads to it or
Yeah,
chains.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they go that far, but yeah, there's a lot they could do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of exciting. Like, there's a lot. I think there's a lot they can build onto the systems that already existed in Breath of the Wild that they haven't even really
Right.
dove into yet. And that's all the kind of stuff we're gonna recognize through the gameplay rather than I think in the trailer. So,
Ooh, will we see a windstorm? Like
oh
maybe
man,
a tornado could get you up, number one. And
Yeah,
then like yeah, please, yeah.
in the Hebrew region, we do see that large, like tornado-looking thing. So I do think around there'll be like intense winds, probably. Yeah.
Ooh, and I like the idea of super powered winds give you
Mhm.
a push when you're on your glider. That'd be sick.
yeah, that'd be really cool. Like
Ooh, or
Fortnite,
maybe
they can
helping
ride the
like
tornadoes around.
yeah. And then like if you could later, I bet you can like make like a little plane or something, and then you take it in there, and it's like.
Oh, I do want this. Oh my god!
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think you may have just mentioned it. One of you did, but yeah, we had that early scene in the trailers that looked like he's going through a storm, and that could be a lot
Yeah.
of fun if you feel the impacts of that wind. But I did feel like the wind was kind of like a weak point in Breath of the Wild. How like you have this very physics driven world, and yet the glider always behaves the exact same no matter where you are. You know, it never felt like you were actually going through any wind or turbulent areas.
Was there ever any discernible wind in Breath of the Wild? Did it ever make a
Not in the
yeah.
air, on the ground. I think you could see wind on the ground, like things would rustle in the wind, but nothing
Okay.
substantial to my memory. I think I believe, like for instance, I think fires might spread based on the wind. Do we?
I think that does happen. It might affect like long distance arrows, but like that's like about it.
Whoa.
Wait, did
Okay.
it? I don't. Did it? I don't think
I
it
don't,
did.
I don't, no, that's why I said might. I don't remember if it did.
That would've been cool if it did.
Because if I remember, there were like bows that were made to give you like a straight shot versus like a trajectory. But...
Right.
Oh yeah, like if you had a sail on your boat, like that was keying into something, right?
Yeah, because you had like the Korok leaf that you could use to blow wind, like in Wind
Oh,
Waker.
that's true, but it wasn't anything. Yeah, I don't know. So it's definitely one of those things though that like I don't know. You almost have to assume that part of the reason that this game exists and it is a sequel is because they had this engine in front of them to which the possibilities had not been fully unlocked.
Right.
You almost have to assume that that's like they had so many ideas for things that you could expand and do, and especially given that it's been what is it 6 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, like there are so many things I'm sure. Little things. It's a lot of I think this game is kind of like death by a thousand cuts.
Oh,
because the systems and yeah.
Yeah, totally. The Pizza Man does remind us that there were puzzles that revolved around the wind. I forgot there was that series of islands where you throw the bomb, I think, in the wind patterns. But,
that's right.
But even that felt like maybe my memory could be wrong. That still felt a little bit more binary than like the full like physics.
Yeah, that's not really what we're. Yeah, I hear you. That's like a bespoke. Like there is this thing going this way, and it's
throw it in, and then like that almost given a more conventional Zelda puzzle. And I think it would work the same largely. But anyways, it's been a long time since I played that puzzle. Good memory there.
Yeah, for real.
What else? What else do we want to see tomorrow? What's your hope?
Oh man. Oh, I've already gone over all my hopes.
All of them. You have hopes? I
mean, truthfully, my main hope is that I come out of this even more excited and feeling confident. I don't want to come out of it feeling like, okay, maybe we have seen most of the game.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't want to feel like I felt a little bit after the 10-minute of gameplay showcase where I'm like, okay, this is all stuff I expected by and large. I want to see more. I want to see what they haven't been showing us. And I think that's going to be here this time, but we don't know for sure. So
question, are we assuming that this stream is going to open up, it will be the trailer will end, the stream will end, and that will be it? Is that what we are assuming?
Yeah.
Isn't it it's a premiere, isn't it? Or is it a stream?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a premiere, yeah.
So
it's a premiere. Oh.
So yeah, no intro, no outro, it's just going to be the trailer.
That's so weird. Because the last thing they did...
It does say live, actually. Looking at the
really?
stream, it says live in 21 hours. So
okay, never mind. Wait.
Okay.
Hold on. Actually, hold on. No.
No.
That's premieres.
Nintendo tweet said that they were live streaming it on their channel.
Okay, then I guess that's it. Okay, it's a live stream then. All right.
Yeah,
So,
never mind.
Okay.
I was wrong.
So
right.
I find this a little funny because the last thing we saw was the 10-minute gameplay demonstration, which you would think would have been a stream.
Right, but that was a premiere.
But it was not. And now this is a stream. Are we seriously about to watch a 3-minute stream, or will somebody talk?
We might get Aonuma on screen talking about something.
Well, this changes everything.
It does. It does.
It changes
It does a little
everything. Start from the top. Okay, here's what we're gonna see.
Now, honestly, I don't think it changes that much. I think if it does go that route, it'd be akin to the Mario movie directs, where you have a little bit of an intro and outro, but it doesn't tell you anything more really about the movie. It's just like the typical preamble stuff, and the meat's going to be that trailer.
I guess.
Okay, so
I guess the main question though is if there is people coming on screen and talk about it, what are they going to say? Because they've already revealed the OLED. They've already revealed all the collector's editions for the games. Pre-orders are already open for all those. Aonuma already told us during the gameplay demonstration the game is done.
It's so easy. It's like,
so easy.
Hi, I'm Aonuma. I hope you are excited for the new trailer. Here we go. Afterward, I hope you enjoy the trailer. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Oh no, I got even more than that. I've been waiting for this for so long. I feel like they are just sitting on Nintendo Switch features. I want somebody to come out and tell me about how when you're gliding in the air, you now feel it in your Joy-Con. You feel the wind going by you. I want somebody to tell me about how you can feel the difference when you dive down. You feel it going faster in your hands. I want somebody to go, hey, remember the IR blaster? We did. Here's what you can do in our game with that stupid thing. You can play rock, paper, scissors with Tingle.
What?
Oh my goodness! So that would be the biggest plot twist if they use the IR scanner on the Joy-Con. Special edition Tactician, we will be streaming it tomorrow, so make sure you're here for that. We'll probably be streaming earlier just to give more hype for it. Yep. I'm not expecting too much beyond the 3 minutes trailer though. I think anything they want to show is going to be in that. So I will be shocked, Jake, if they show off any new features that aren't part of the trailer. So
I'm just bracing myself for disappointment because this game was finally built with the Nintendo Switch in mind, unlike Breath of the Wild. And I went back and I played I'm playing some Mario Odyssey recently, and there was some cool HD rumble in there that I forgot about.
The motorcycle is amazing. The scooter.
Yeah, and even there's a little puzzle where you're in the toaster world.
Arena.
Yeah, and you're walking around and it's below you and you got a ground pound in a specific spot and you're feeling your Joy-Con. You're like, oh, there it got it.
You know what's hilarious, Jake? That is literally how Ocarina of Time used the Rumble Pack, which is pretty new back then, where you would feel secret spots in the ground rumble, and which is funny that when they had the next gen of Rumble, they just ignored it in their premiere game. So
yeah, and I just feel like Breath of the Wild barely had wholesale didn't have any of this stuff.
No.
And it would just be cool to see.
You know why though? That's probably because it was mostly made for the Wii U.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah. But the going back and playing Mario Odyssey, it elevated that experience. It made it feel like a premium Switch title in a way. And I'm like, hey, this thing, it's got the premium price tag. Let's get the features. Okay. And I think it would go. I honestly, in a way where the Switch is subject to all sorts of conversation about where is the successor, where is the Pro, keeping up with its contemporaries. I think in a way it would be kind of cool if there were some genuinely interesting implementations of the Switch hardware in the game, just for the sake of having to play it on Switch.
Right.
Yeah.
Marina in the chat says Link will finally pet the dog. What if you can feel that, Jake, in the Joy-Cons?
Oh, then I'm in. Yeah, I wasn't in, but now I'm in.
I'm gonna be so disappointed if after all this time, because we know the dogs are at the stables again. I'm gonna be so disappointed if you can walk up to the dog and there's no pet button.
There has to be a pet button now. There has to be a pet button. There's no way. From the company that made Nintendo dogs, come on, they have to.
We won't see that tomorrow though. But
here's my HD Rumble Joy-Con feature, okay? So in the first game, you could make meals. We all remember this. You cook meals. In this game, you can make drinks. And you feel them as you drink them, like this. You feel them come down the Joy-Con.
Oh,
my
I don't know. I don't know how I
down.
feel about
All
that.
right.
What
This might
do
be
you mean?
This might be a sign that we are done here. Did you play Ring Fit Adventure, Jake? You can make drinks in
Yeah, I
that
love
game
that
too.
game.
Yeah, that game's great.
Yeah,
so
that's a good game.
I would be shocked if we get any kind of like gesture-based gameplay outside of what we'd already seen in Breath of the Wild, where it just mimics the right control stick basically.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, it's like if you're playing in handheld mode and all of a sudden you feel the controllers vibrate upwards like that, that's gonna be weird.
Oh my god, Jake, stop it! Will you stop it, Jake?
Man, we're gonna have a lot of random.
Yeah, I'm gonna
tweets
censor
this week
Jake
after
here
this video,
soon.
aren't we?
Dear God. It could be Too Smooth says it could be milk or it will be milk. It could be Lon milk. There we
Could
go.
be Lon milk.
Yep.
And how does that feel different in the Joy-Con compared to a potion? I want to know. Will Nintendo be brave enough to show us? We'll
No.
find out tomorrow.
Yeah,
No.
they're not. All right. Do we real quick? Are we seeing Zelda tomorrow? Are we going to understand her role in the game? No.
I think
so.
she will appear, even if because in the last trailer we heard her voice talk to Link. I think we'll at least see her at some point. But I'm almost willing to put money. It's gonna be from the falling scene again. It's gonna be from that.
I'm gonna throw it
again.
out there. If we don't see her role in the gameplay, she's not playable. If they don't show it, she's not. She's out.
I thought you were going the other way.
Oh,
I thought
really?
you were going. If we don't see her,
She
they're
is
keeping it a
playable?
secret on purpose.
I see.
Because to me, if we don't see her past a certain point, where is she being kept a secret?
Yeah. I'm with Jake on that one. I'm with Jake on that one. It may not necessarily be playable. It could just be there's hiding. Like, I don't know, maybe she gets another redesign other than like shorter hair, but like something that that they want to keep secret about Zelda. Beyond
see, this is the time to show it. This is the thing that could get spoiled.
We
Like,
would think.
if Zelda has a unique purpose in this game, if they don't show it here, it's gonna get ruined for everyone. It's gonna take one tweet for someone from an early build or from a build of the game, whether at release or earlier, to say, look what you can do with Zelda, and that ruins everything. So no, they this is now the time to show it. They have to show it now if she does anything cool.
I would agree with you, but Nintendo has consistently made this mistake so many times in the past that like you say they have to do it now or else it'll get leaked.
Outside of Pokemon, what else have they like dropped the ball on in terms of?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say everything. I feel like I feel like in the past year I have made 10 different the game has leaked, spoilers are out there videos. So I don't know, like I feel like I was seeing Xenoblade 3 things out there before that game came out. Triss, back me up.
I'm pretty sure there were a bit of that.
Yeah. And I feel like I even saw stuff with that Kirby game. That was a remake of the Wii game. I don't know.
The only way I could see it is if like Zelda's role is like a minority part of the experience. Like if she's like in a single sequence, for instance, or something. But if she's at all central mechanic, she will be shown off before then. They will show off how that works.
It's just a 3-minute commercial. It's not time. They'll show it off in the future Zelda Direct.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, if there is a future Zelda Direct, that is possible. I agree with that. I guess that's the question, if there will be a full Direct or not. Like,
well, we got a month to go, so we'll see. We'll see if this final trailer tomorrow is indeed final everything for this until launch, or if it's just specifically trailer.
Yeah.
Well, Platinum Phantom in the chat says we'll probably get a 3-second clip of her and that's it. Could you imagine if that 3-second clip like even looked like gameplay even a little bit? Like,
she's running.
If so, tune in tomorrow morning. You can catch me throwing up live on stream.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I'm excited. Okay, I'm just talking about everything is making me a little more excited now for what they could show off. Now that I'm waking up too, that helps. Like I don't know. One more, like they showed off like that 10 minutes of gameplay, like that filled in like the core level of the game. But there's so many more layers to it that I feel like we haven't fully understood, even plot wise. Like we know there's obviously a ton of theories out there, but like very few concrete details, and it'll be interesting to see what they dial into tomorrow, because obviously there'll be a little bit more story glimpses, and curious to see how that shakes out, and like Ganon's exact role this time,
Yeah, it'd be cool if in our little montage that I think we're all imagining, something I think that they've done pretty a pretty good job of in the few things we've seen is I feel like enemy variety has low-key been addressed. Every time we see this game, I'm like, oh, that's like a cool thing. Whereas in my memory of Breath of the Wild, I feel like we basically had 3 classes of enemies in different flavors, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, and now I feel like we've seen all sorts of different things. Like, it'd be so cool if, Triss, like you mentioned, it's like, oh, here's that Gleeok guy. Here's a little clip of us fighting him. Here's another 2, 3 big weirdos you've never seen before going toe-to-toe to them. Because I feel like there's almost a re-emphasized focus on combat in this game and how it ties into fusing the materials. So you got to have some cool stuff to fight. I would love to see something where it even kind of shows us like a super specific use case of taking advantage of a boss by using a fused material. We kind of talked about this in a prior video, but like having to hit like a weak spot on their back with like the Keese eye arrow, or just like showing like freezing the foot of a big boss, like that'd be so cool. Like little stuff like this, if any of that plays out, it just makes your imagination explode in terms of what you could do. Because I think our expectation is like, okay, you hit somebody with the freeze thing, it applies the freeze effect to them in a kind of holistic way that we've seen in other video games. But what if it's like a degree more interesting than that? Like, what if you have just like a little bit more control over it and you can really like, what if I freeze the wings of a flying creature and it falls?
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. You know, then you just start hitting them with your stick. Like, that's how you do it. Like, yeah, that'd be cool.
I want to see that exact sequence of events now in the trailer tomorrow. That'd be amazing. I love it. It would actually give a new purpose to the sticks. If you could just beat things, flying creatures.
Oh yeah, if you fuse it to a stone, then you got like the big club.
You're sending a message at that point. You're more sending a message than anything. Oh man. Daniel in the chat says, just show us more enemy types, dungeons, and even the proper green tunic with a hat.
I think the green tunic would be just like it was in Breath of the Wild. It's your like 100% reward kind of thing. It's your reward for completing all of something.
I like the idea though. I like the idea of pushing out like an iconic look. You know what I mean? Having like a superhero costume moment, something like that. That'd be cool. I think in my head, in Breath of the Wild, I feel like it was very much like trying to almost exactly evoke the green costume of Link's past. I think it would be cool if, I don't know, if you could have it in the trailer where it's like a new look, where it's like take an inspo, maybe a combination of the current Breath of the Wild Link with like the blue shirt and the old green one, just something completely new that makes us go, oh dang, look at that outfit though. Like that'd be cool. Yeah,
that would be cool.
Johnny is saying they're betting multiplayer will be announced, a co-op mode.
There's a chance.
I don't think so.
I would love it. I unfortunately don't see it.
Yeah, that'd be cool, but I don't see it happening.
There's a chance.
Strangely enough, I feel like something like co-op would be a DLC update addition to this game rather than something in it from the start. Personally,
that's a cool idea too, Triss. That's definitely that's a cool selling point for a DLC package. The thing I keep coming back to is, there's a part of me that can't let go of this game being made specifically for the Switch. And at some point, somebody saying, should we have some split Joy-Con, hand the Joy-Con to another person thing? That's the only thing that's like keeps coming back to me.
Caden in the chat says, is that why Nintendo has been striking those multiplayer Breath of the Wild videos recently? I love the idea. I think it's only because it's a mod and Nintendo hates mods. But I love the idea of that actually being a tip-off to what's coming in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yo, if we get multiplayer tomorrow, I'm gonna say 100% that's what that was. Locked in.
They were on that pretty quick, and they definitely would not want any confusion at all. For one, they don't want to lessen the hype, of course, of Tears of the Kingdom, but they don't want any confusion either. They don't want people to see that thinking it's Tears of the Kingdom or vice versa. So they want it to be crystal clear what's what. But all that being said, I still don't think it's I don't think it's going to get a multiplayer mode.
I don't know. You're kind of talking me into it right now. I feel like I've seen Breath of the Wild mod videos for years.
Yeah, that's true.
Here, look at it this way, Jake. The way the co-op works well, if it happens, is because you have Link with what he can do with his hand, and Zelda has the classic Sheikah Slate abilities. and those are two different things that have to work together. Zelda has the magnesis, Zelda has the stasis, she has bombs. You don't.
Yeah.
And you work together to do different things.
Could you imagine the
Yeah,
things you could do with both of you having like some control over the elements around you? Like you could do some crazy stuff with two people working together.
You could, and that makes me afraid for it if it happens.
Yo, if they show that, because here's the thing: if they show two people playing together in a same environment and not like split up, they're together doing stuff. Goated. I'm like, to the degree that I'm concerned. Like Tris is saying, I almost see that, and I'm like, you've flown too close to the sun. Not sure how this is possible. Best of luck to you. But yeah, that would be insane. Yeah.
Mr. LPM in the chat says, on the official Zelda page is a reference to DLC. Do we know?
Oh, I looked into this.
Okay,
yeah,
this is a while ago.
This is also, it's like a mistake. I remember when I looked into this, I can't quite recall what the reason is, but that website like changed a couple times, and there were like, you know how at the bottom of a page it'll be like, okay, the first asterisk means this. The second, the ones that's 2, 3, 4. There were like 2 and 3 like weren't even there because the website kept changing and they kept taking stuff on and off. So those little notices at the bottom, I think at one point it was referring to the Nintendo online vouchers you could use to buy the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
So so I wouldn't use that as a sign to mean anything. If anything, I think the best sign to take that there isn't multiplayer in this game is that for quite some time we have had a pre-order page on the Nintendo eShop for this game, and they almost never put that up where you can actually pre-order it before saying if you can play the game multiplayer or not, because that's like in that listing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too the game. I just don't think the gameplay lends itself to that either, because you have to compromise one. You can't make a well fleshed out 2-player mode if you can also largely play single player, or if if the game is largely designed to be a single player game at the same time. And I just feel like this is not the time for it, although it would be cool. I just don't see it. Like we've had multiplayer Zeldas before, but that was within the context of the game specifically designed for that in mind, like Four Swords. The only exception I can think of was a Tingle Tuner in Wind Waker, and that was a nothing feature. So
It was a fun little extra co-op thing that was.
It was a nothing, Tris.
It was akin to like the co-op modes in the Mario Galaxy games, or like.
Whoa,
exactly.
Okay. Listen, first off, I was a little baby. I couldn't play Wind Waker by myself. That's how I needed to experience it. God bless my older brother playing that game and me sitting there with my little bomb machine.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's that like assist co-op feature, like in Odyssey or in the Galaxy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay.
Yeah, and I think the thing dissuading me from multiplayer is that I truly don't see it as an online multiplayer game.
No.
Just because I just don't think they have that in them, and it kind of goes against what I'm saying about the Switch thing. And then when I think about like trying to do split screen in this, that also seems impossible. So like maybe I'm wrong.
Do it.
Right?
No,
yeah,
I don't see it happening. If it does happen, it's something I see being added as like a DLC later on, not or an update, not something we see tomorrow. Personally, I would love to be wrong.
All right, final predictions. Off the wall, like what do you think we could possibly see here that we haven't even touched on yet? Like what do you want to see that would be like, yeah, this is why Tears of the Kingdom exists?
Will we get a look at Ganon's non-corpse design tomorrow?
Oh, that's a good one.
No? I feel like they'd save that too. I feel like they would save that.
If that's
we heard his voice. Because we heard his voice.
Yeah. I think they barely have it.
I think it's possible we see like a glimpse, like his hand or something turning into a flesh being.
Oh, I feel like if so, it's like from the end of the game. Just you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my concern, because I feel like we won't see that look of his until much later. Well, I don't know, because that quote we hear in the last trailer does not sound like it's coming from a corpse, and that sounds like a quote we would get in his rise to power. So I don't know. I'm torn. I feel like we won't, but it would be nice if we did get a look at him tomorrow.
It would be cool to have a new Ganondorf. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe they release like a render. We just like have it.
Ooh,
like that'd be sick. You know what I mean? That I'm sitting there like wishing he was in Smash and just being sad.
You don't play a zombie Ganondorf?
See, that would also be sweet. That, oh god, how could they not have any new content for Smash? Nintendo.
Right? I know. Dropping the
Is there
ball.
any chance, Tris, that Minochu243 brings this up in the chat, that little robot buddy from Age of Calamity pops up?
As much as I think it would just be an Easter egg. Like if you see him in the background somewhere, maybe. But I don't think so because of the time travel shenanigans. The one that would exist in this game from Breath of the Wild is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, my final prediction for what we're gonna see tomorrow is obviously sexy goggles guy. That's a lock, but this is otherwise. I think we're gonna see powers akin to your like guardian powers, like jumping up in the air and doing like the shield thing. I think we're gonna see powers like that, but they're gonna be way cooler. Okay. We're gonna see one that's like the Goron ability, and Link just like takes off like the Flash, and he's like, like going through the world. Like that's what we're gonna see. We're gonna see something that makes us go, we can do that, and it's the Guardian ability.
I think the way you phrase that, it'll be cooler. I think that could literally be the case where we see more elemental based powers, where Link's able to play with the elements, maybe the weather happening around him. Like maybe you can freeze water to a much greater extent than you could in the first game to create like little I don't know, platforms or archways or whatever. Like you can do cool stuff here now. I don't know. We'll see.
Taking a step back, I think we'll just see more of Link's abilities. Like we saw, like fusion, ascent. I think there's more than those, and I think we'll see some.
Whoa! Wait! Hold on! No, you're telling me like core abilities? There's gonna be more.
I think there's more.
Well,
right now we have less than we did in Breath of the Wild. So
what do you mean?
Like the number of them.
Yeah, we only have we have what, 3 so far? 3, 4?
4.
4, okay. Yeah.
I think there's more. Fusion, Ascend, Recall, and Ultra Hand. I think there's gonna be at least one more.
But wait, how many were the and then Breath of the Wild had Stasis, Cryonis,
Magnesis. And then it had the bombs, and then it had
2 bombs.
You can get
that doesn't
bombs,
count.
but you can also summon the Master Cycle. There was the silly Amiibo one, the camera one, but those are extra ones. But
you had the 4 core ones you got on the plateau.
Yeah, but I do think there might be more.
Well, because I mean, we've seen like time powers being used in the trailer, so that has to be one, right?
No, that's Recall.
Yeah, that's Recall.
Is that Recall?
Yeah, Hundo P.
Okay.
Yeah, same like color scheme, right?
We're talking about when he like reverses the kinetic energy of the ball, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the same thing he uses to lift the thing back into the sky. Because it has the same like design motif. So wow, I figured that was like the whole point of that trailer was to introduce your core abilities. I can't imagine there being more than that, but it would be interesting if there were like little bonus things. I think I've long been thinking that there would be a way to like pocket a vehicle wholesale and then like like kind of Animal Crossing it like back out. I kind of could see them doing that.
Because what makes me think there's more is the symbol for Recall is so vastly different than the other ones. Fusion looks like a sword, and then Ultra Hand is literally a hand, and Ascend is like, it looks like an alien abduction. But then Recall looks like a symbol. It looks like something in writing, which makes me think there's going to be more like that. And I think they only showed off in the gameplay demonstration, like those specific ones, because those are all the ones that have been seen in prior trailers.
Oh, y'all got me cooking now. Now I'm cooking. now I'm thinking about this, and it's like the bombs. There were the 2 different kinds of bombs. Right. What's stopping us from having 2 different What's stopping us from having Descend?
Yep, there you go. Like, I think the gameplay demonstration was specifically, look, we've teased these little things. You've seen a little bit of these things before. Here's what they actually are. They didn't really show anything new with the abilities in that gameplay demonstration. They elaborated and explained what we were already shown or teased, which is why I think there's a chance we could see a new ability. At least one.
Lock it in.
Okay.
Lock it in.
I won
Yeah.
Jake over. There we go. We're good.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Okay.
Sidati Art says the pin set has more symbols. Was there a pin set?
Yes. Yeah. In the collector's edition, there's that box that has like pins. You can only see one of them fully, and it's not a symbol that we have yet. It's not it's not a symbol that we have for anything in the game yet. So.
Wow.
That's definitely gonna be
I love being on these discussions. I always learn something. Oh my
Ollie
God.
says underwater baby, let's go. That would be a big one. Did they show off like underwater exploration? That would be exciting.
Oh.
Well, Andre, there's your new champion ability for the fish lane.
Oh my God, yeah, that would do it.
You know,
That's a good
fish mode. Yeah.
I know it lets you go underwater. I can see that.
Wait, hold on. I need to call attention to somebody in the chat who says
What?
also the Joy-Con pin on the background. What are they talking about?
I'm not sure. Is there? Maybe there's a design on the Joy-Con that has a symbol that
Interesting.
also hasn't appeared in the game
Okay,
yet.
Nasagi-chan, follow up. But for real though, fish mode with that whole thing, I think that ties in perfectly with what I'm thinking for the new Guardian abilities. Because what if they're all based around traversal, and you get like a land traversal ability with your Goron buddy, water one with your fish buddy, sky one with your bird buddy, and then there's a fourth buddy. The sweet woman, the electricity thing.
Yep.
So I don't know what that could be, but there's something, I'm sure. There's yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what, but yeah.
Cool.
So much
Digging?
potential. Digging's possible. Like,
Digging?
Underground seems to be a thing.
Cool.
You know what
cool.
I want? I want hook shots. I want to see the hook shot ability or something akin to it being used. Claw shots, hook shots, whatever kind of shot. I want some shots.
Yeah, been asking for that since day one, especially since like, I don't know, sometimes you see those sky islands, you kind of like imagine a way that you could Spider-Man yourself up there, you know? That'd be that'd be really sick, yeah.
Right. Fisto with the super chat saying, before you go, what is Jake's titillation level?
Oh my God.
We need to know.
I think it's gone up. It's increased.
It's definitely gone up. It's definitely gone up. Okay. So I think titillation right now, I'm at like a solid 7. I'm right there, but a lot of stuff could really peak that meter. I think we're gonna have to make an official titillation meter, I think. But yeah, like because if I see that goggles guy, oh dude. That's
Trophy Thomas.
I would do.
You see Trophy Thomas.
Yeah, then that's gonna be sweet.
Juicy Ding Dong has a question. Would you rather see surface changes, underwater exploration, or underground exploration? So surface changes to the main world, underwater exploration, or underground exploration. What do you want the most?
I feel like underwater exploration wouldn't be that interesting personally, going off of past Zelda games that let you go underwater. So I would rather have underground exploration, just because as much as they may change the surface of Hyrule, which we know there are changes, I think a whole new area to explore would be more interesting.
Yeah, the underwater one is the hardest one for me to visualize. It's the hardest one for me to see how that plays out. But I do think there's a world in which that's cool because of how that kind of like changes physics on everything.
True.
So, you know, there's kind of something to that, but it's hard for me to visualize like functionally how that would work. So I think, so I think I'm also like, I think underground is the one that speaks to me the most, just because it seems the most doable. And I immediately am like, oh, okay. Yeah. You make something to dig, you create little crevices, do all sorts of like there's stuff there that speaks to me.
Yeah.
Max RN raises a good point. There is one more abilities 100%. Watch the gameplay. Alan Numa says there are even more abilities plural, and then he only shows one more. So
oh, there you go then.
Good catch. Space exploration, says John. Oh my God, this is not the game where it goes to space. I do think it will happen at some point within the next 50 years, but not now.
DLC?
No.
Okay.
Not a chance. No way.
All right.
This isn't Kerbal's Space Adventure or whatever.
Wow. Cool.
John says low gravity. I mean, I feel like that would basically be underwater anyway. So if
right.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, everyone, or are we about done here?
Oh my God, we've been talking about this game as long as the Mario movie.
Yeah. Amazing.
I will say,
I just
feel
realized how
like
long we've been going.
every time I glance over a chat, I feel like I see great ideas. Nietzsche Ente says a huge village with tons of people and activities and mini games. I feel like you could show that in a trailer in like 3 seconds in a way that, once again, titillation meter
Yeah,
off
that's a
the
good
chart.
one. I do want to see more
I need to
towns.
point out. I need to point out just funny in chat. Nintendo 23 saying The Legend of Zelda, no breath in space.
Whoa.
Breathless
Yeah.
in space.
I love that.
But like for real, if there's like little clips of mini games or just like jolly stuff happening with like a town, that speaks to me. I'd love that.
I think towns were kind of a weak element of Breath of the Wild. There was
Mhm.
a couple that felt fleshed out, but beyond that, there wasn't a whole lot. I would love to see. We saw like a bustling city. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Oh, dude, that'd be sick. I have like in my head, I'm imagining like a carnival for some reason. I don't know why.
That'd be fun.
But,
I still,
yeah, but just like little kids running around, like heck yeah.
well, like kind of like the square in Ocarina of Time. That was a really lively area outside Hyrule Castle. I still remember one of the early pre-release screenshots for that game showed like a city, and I think since then, like the model leaked from I don't know, maybe it was from the Nintendo hack a few years ago. But like that picture always stuck with me. I'm like, oh man, that city looks awesome. I would love to explore a city like that in Zelda. So.
Cool.
Madison says rebuilding Castle Town. That would be what if they did show off like some kind of world progression as like a montage in the trailer. You see like the same thing being built up over time.
That would be
interesting.
Yeah, because that would be a whole. Like, I mean, okay, so like in the 10-minute demo, we all spotted those little platforms where it looked like you could maybe like build a little house or something. They definitely wanted you to build something. So maybe there is an element to that in this game. But now what this comment has me thinking about is like, could you imagine something I don't think anybody is expecting given the open world nature of this game, but like a really cool interior, like a sick inside of a house. That would get my wheels turning.
Well, I mean, I think that's what people are hoping for with the dungeons. Like they want to see that really cool, unique interior, and it would be a dungeon in that case.
Oh, see, I don't want it to serve any function. I just want to walk in and see like a wholesome family portrait on the wall.
The problem with Breath of the Wild's like a huge scale is interiors suck. Like you're not going to get a cool looking interior. Like a dungeon is your best bet for that. So,
but they're using the same world. Somebody spent their time creating a gorgeous family portrait, maybe a little kitchen area, a couch. Like that's what I want to see in Zelda. sit on couch button.
Oh my god!
So
what? I will bet you, Jake. We don't see a single home, like a single man-made interior in this trailer.
I'll take that bet.
All right.
I'll take that bet. Yeah, I'll take that bet. That's okay. I think we will. I think we'll see. I think we'll be indoors. Like what if it's like a castle, Andre?
Well, okay, a castle might be the exception. Maybe a
Hyrule Castle, but
I'm already winning this bet.
Let's see. Just look at the chat real quick. No, we're not reading chat, Oliver.
I do want to know because I've seen a few people on chat bringing up like, will we see DLC announced tomorrow? No, I think we will definitely get an expansion pass for this game, like we did Breath of the Wild. Lock that in. I don't see it being announced tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, well, Xenoblade. I guess Xenoblades was announced really early.
They like to announce. Nintendo is all about announcing DLC before the game comes out.
Well, they did for Breath of the Wild.
They did.
I feel like they have with every.
I don't feel like tomorrow is it though.
Yeah, I don't think tomorrow it wouldn't make sense if we're just getting a trailer, unless there is more to it. But I don't think there is going to be much.
What if you could pre-order it tomorrow?
If you pre-order and then Link gets the special shirt, like the Switch shirt.
I think it'd be a risk, especially in a time when people are already calling the existing game DLC. I feel like that's just going to backfire. They announce actual DLC tomorrow, so
yeah, that's interesting.
That's a good point.
Yeah, plus they would have to kind of like tell you at least a little what's in it, and that seems like something they're allergic to at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right.
Nintendo that says, do you think there'll be any bonus items if you have a Breath of the Wild save file on your Switch? I still just wish you could bring your character over.
Yeah, maybe. I could see this game doing something like that, just because like how loosey goosey it was with like those EX chests with the
Yeah.
DLC and stuff, you know. They have a way. Yeah, I think there could be something, but I think if there is, it'll be just kind of whatever. It'll be like a pattern for your glider or something along those lines. Yeah.
Where do we start in this game? Like,
Oh, great question. Great question.
where do you
Will
end
we,
the game?
will we see that tomorrow?
I would love to see that. I would
Yeah.
love to. I just want to know how we get Goopy Arm. I've been thinking about this for so long. It doesn't make any sense. I don't. Is it dangerous? Is it spreading?
I've talked about this a bit before in some of my videos of how Link gets the arm. There's literally a clip from the very first trailer where Link is like this and his arm is glowing. It's like the very start of it. In the last trailer, we see that Link's arm is damaged from all the malice from like Ganon attacking it, and then we see he dives off the cliff to try to catch Zelda with the same arm. So clearly something happens to that arm, and it's the same kind of glowing energy as the one that had the seal on Ganon. And we see from like the very first trailer that catches him from falling at some point. So seemingly that arm fuses with his because his arm is like barely able to be used now. Something along those lines.
I just think it'd be cool if there was a story implication with this arm where they were like, hey, you can stop Ganon, but Link's gonna die no matter what. Because this goopy arm is eating away at him, and you get that final boss battle where he's hundo P goopy, and all of his powers are like jutted up to 1,000,000. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, you're ultra handing a castle and throwing it at Ganon.
Oh my god!
Like, hell, yeah.
Like Link's Fury.
All right.
I feel like I say ideas that are perfectly reasonable all the time, and you both are just like,
I'm on board for throwing Hyrule castles around. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, it's called the Ultra Hand. Ultra implies very few limits, right? So
it does.
Cool. Princess is not goop, Jake. His arm is burned.
I think it's much more goop than it is burned. How do you think he's gluing together the logs to make our boats?
What do you think your arm turns into if it's burned? Of course
Goop.
it's goop. Yeah, exactly.
Goop. Yeah, that's goop. Okay.
All right. I think we're gonna wrap it up here, everyone.
Yep.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We are excited. We are under 24 hours away now. 22 hours away, I believe, from the start of the premiere of the final trailer. 3 minutes. We'll be there. We'll probably be there an hour early, so come and hang out with us at 6 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow as we give even more off-the-wall, outlandish predictions, I'm sure, as we watch the final trailer together. Should be fun, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you later. Bye.